the magnificent
NLCE.
Smacking your head dead off your motherfucking shoulders.
Can't you dig it, honey? Hold it now.
You know you better watch out. You just lost one.
You suckers, 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 suckers. All right.
So don't try to step to me, cause I ain't the one. 2, 3, break!
Oh, yeah. Vamos a volver con el Starcraft. Vamos a practicar un protoss. Después vamos a jugar un poquito el ace pop. Brigador. Lo mismo de siempre, pero hoy con un tono divertido. ¿Cuál es el tono divertido? Vengan a ver cuál es el tono. ¡Yau!
shadows. I am here in the shadows. I am here in the shadows. I am here in the shadows.
Research complete. Mineral field depleted.
I am here in the shadows. I am the voice of the eclipse. I am here in the shadows. I am here in the shadows. Let our enemy know our fury. I am the heart of darkness.
Mineral field depleted.
I am here in the shadows.
Mineral field depleted.
skills. State thy bidding. Intriguing. Veraku. Very well.
Research complete.
It shall be as you say. Very wise. We move for the reckoning. I serve. Intriguing. It shall be as you say. Comes to all. Forever sleep. We move unseen. Reckoning. Very well. It shall be as you say. I serve for now. Complete the cycle. Comes to all. Very well. Forever sleep. Very well. It shall be as you say. There are intriguing.
Research complete.
I am the voice of the eclipse. I am here. Shadows. You require my skills. We are one with the shadows. It shall be as you say. I am the heart of darkness. I am cold, state thy bidding. I am here in the shadows.
Mineral field depleted.
I am here in the shadows. State thy bidding. Cold is the void. Intriguing. I am the heart of darkness. I am the voice of the eclipse. You require my skills. We are one with the shadow. I am here in the shadows. Very wise. We move unseen. The void hungers. Veraku. It shall be as you say. Intriguing. For the reckoning. Very well. We move unseen. Veraku. I serve now. Complete the cycle. Comes to all. Cold fury.
Mineral field depleted.
Very wise. For the reckoning. It shall be as you say. We move unseen. Veraku. Very well. Complete the cycle. I serve for now.
Research complete.
It shall be as you say. Very wise. For the reckoning.
Mineral field depleted.
Intriguing. We move unseen. Veraku. Death comes to all. reckoning. Very well. State thy bidding. Very wise. Intriguing. Veraku. It shall be as you say. We move unseen. Very wise. Veraku. It shall be as you say. I serve for now. Intriguing for the reckoning. I serve for now. Very well. We move unseen. Very well. Very wise. For the reckoning. Cold is the void. It shall be as you say.
Yeah, 1,612 likes on this video, on this cast, and I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways, because I don't know what else I'd do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far, and hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. As the drone slips away, the SCV parts ways and makes sure that the third base that Solar wants to take is not the one he's able to have. Because it's more important to ruin the Zerg's day than to make your own. But porque no los dos? As the Zerglings come out and will contest the Reaper, the drones harassed in the workplace, the Zerglings will try to help them deal with it. The drone body blocking on the other side, and the Queen able to get a few extra hits off before politely, yet firmly escorting the Reaper away. Bunny flirting with the idea of going back in for the creep tumor, but more intent on playing hard to get. Now, back at home, a third command center is already on the way. But you knew that. You knew a starport was in production. You knew that the factory would go on over and take a seat next to the reactor, which the barracks cooked up for it. Queen, now... churlish, insubordinate... Brenda, not game... one. Sorry. The Reaper escapes from the Queens just barely after a remarkably forward move. Does not pick off the creep. I'm not actually sure. Maybe just poke it in to see if there's a roach warren on the way. But Solar, with the most cookie cutter of builds, if that cookie is made out of Zergling speed, 3 hatcheries, and a bit of creep spread. So, you know, probably a bit gooey and warm on the inside, and weirdly chewy. And now Reaper Hellion. Brenda bounce over to the side. Banshee on the way with Cloak. And we have our most standard start leading very likely into a macro game. Those 3 command centers pretty much protected by the fact... Wow, Bunny really just very up in the Queen's face with those grenades. Has yet to lose a single unit. Undefeated so far. A perfect game. Of course, he's destroyed 1, make that 2 Zerglings, so not exactly the most remarkable accomplishment, but I'm kind of grasping at straws here for something to point out. So, a lair is in production. 2 more racks on the way. It's going to be a bio build out of money, making sure those Hellions keep on the edge of the creep, try to keep it under control. Of course, the Queens trying to do whatever the opposite is there, and a double engineering bay behind it. So really relying on the map control and potential for defense provided. Another just goes right by. We knew this was going to happen eventually. He's been so antsy with these Hellions. The Banshee trying to come in was zoned out by the Spore Crawler and Solar. Get off my tree! Oh, sorry. The Queens with a vengeance driving this back. It was so like... It's like a dog looking at... We're going to go back to the cookie metaphor. Because I had a dog back in the day who... We knew she wanted your food. Alright? But she wouldn't look at it. Well, she'd look at it, but then she'd pretend like she wasn't going to jump up on the table the moment your back was turned and eat it off your plate. Alright, what a bitch, am I right? But we both knew it was going to happen. So... If you forgot that food, that was your fault. In this case, Solar did not forget about the Hellions and the Banshees that Buddy was clearly trying to run by with. And easily shut them down because he was telegraphing it so hard he may have well decided to invent the telephone instead. So that was never going to work, but it is hilarious that he tried anyways. And that means Solar at 73 drones, 58 SCVs for Bunny. We're only 6.5 minutes in, but Solar is already working his way up towards that full Zerg economy. He's got 4 bases, a 5th one in production. Hydralisk Den is on the way. 1-1 upgrades. Everything you could ever want for this stage of the game. I mean, if you're being realistic, if you're being ambitious, you'd also say, give me an infestation pit and 5 HP on the Banelings back. But I digress. As Bunny now hopping across the map with his first timing attack besides those Hellions. Got a troop of Marines, a siege tank, and a moral support medevac. Not everyone will make it out of this attack. If he manages to cancel the hatchery, that's already a win. Gonna try to jam the siege tank into the corner. Just finds his own little nook for the siege tank. Cubby hole there. But Solar gives up on the base before he's put in an awkward position to defend. Lings and Banes now completed. Couple dozen of them alongside the Queens, who are ambitiously trying to spread the creep back out. Unlikely to happen. The double medevac bait into the main. Buddy tries to fake Solar out. Solar reacts a little late to it, but comes back around. That's a cute move from Buddy, trying to pretend like he was going to pick up the Marines and head to the main. But what do we have down here? A single Marine. But everyone else is stuck on the low ground. The siege tank tanking the Banelings gets a few massive hits. And not even all the Marines will make it into... Oh, wow, an empty medevac. Now, that is not an ideal timing there, but Bunny has more Marines where that came from. In fact, it's 144 to 139 supply, and incredibly notably, there's no infestation pit, just now starting. Hydralisks are just popping out. Bunny, it's not about how many men you lose, it's about how many you have to replace them with. Right now, the Terran economy is fueled by mules, and the timing attacks are supported by a lot of dudes with drugs, guns, who hate illegal aliens. So, feel right at home. Infestation pit halfway there. 2-2 upgrades on the way. Solar. I felt like I should follow up that. Solar has a slight advantage. The one Banshee who survives, still looking around. The Queens will be angered by it. 80 drones. I get my eyes checked. Hive is on the way, but Solar has been kind of bopped back down to 4 bases. He is just on that lair tech. Of course, Bunny is still on the big game, Marine, tank, and medevac. Double drop, this time full of units. There's no way to tell there are units inside unless you saw them go into the medevac. Bunny, that's the first time I've seen a fake drop so early on. And Solar barely bit on it at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if he tries the tactic again. Now we got 3 more Raxes on the way, and that's a much heftier Terran army trundling across the map. We got 5 siege tanks, a few dozen Marines, half a dozen medevacs overhead. The Hydras, Lings, and Banes threatening a counterattack towards the 3rd, but Bunny is already headed down the center. There's a lurker den on the way. A few of the Queens are going to be caught out between a rock and a hard place. Managed to survive for now, but this is the sort of timing that can spiral out of control, especially when there's a double drop stabbing into the main base. 16 Marines on the back, a few dozen on the front. Siege tanks spread throughout. The Hive just finished, which means the tech, of course, hasn't kicked in. But here comes Solar from every side. He finishes upgrade slightly quicker. The Hydras are streaming forth. The Banelings rolling through. The Zerglings overrunning. And the Marines come down the ramp to try to support, but it's too little. And it's too late. The reinforcements came out. We'll clean up the drop in the back. Some of the Hydras are caught as well. The siege tank on the high ground, and how the turntables have turned as DJ Bunny's drop in the base drew the reinforcements away from the front, and now, despite his losses, still maintains a similar army supply. But again, Solar took the punches. He kept his key bases alive. His economy is still intact. He's got adrenal glands on the way. And more Hydras in production. So, the net result of all that, I think, is a slight win for Solar. Because towing the line right now is an advantage for Solar. He's the one teching up. Bunny does not have ghosts on the way. He's getting Liberators, he's getting tanks, he's getting Marauders. He's maxed out. But the lack of a Ghost Academy is almost negligence on his part. But here we go. The full 2-2 upgrades on either side. There will be no more finishing soon. A hatchery is taken down with ease. The survivors in the medevac finally ripped apart. Lurker range is nearly completed. Adrenal glands as well. Where are the lurkers? 2 lurkers completed. Vipers on the field. Solar really can't afford to lose another hatchery here. Those lurkers going to get onto the low ground underneath the siege tank in position. The Queens watch it. Is this happening? What a play. The SCVs will repair the tank through the lurker fire for long enough, but the rest of the army is here. Blinding cloud on the siege tanks. Looking for more on the back line. Off the creep, the Marines will split, but they're facing the ends of the earth. They'll hop into the medevacs to avoid their inevitable demise. And for now, Bunny is forced to double back. 160 to 190 supply in favor of Solar, but another double drop up to the north side will take out the base at the 12 o'clock position. 8 more lurkers on the way, but they have yet to be delivered. And without it, Solar is struggling to keep control of the map, despite the fact Bunny just doesn't have that much weight to throw around. He's just so fast hopping around. Meanwhile, the Nidus from another group, they're back again, and they're just targeting the hatchery. He doesn't even care about the units, and without the hatchery, Solar never built the base down the center. That means Solar's actually down to 3 bases against Bunny's 4, with 3 more command centers on the way. Bunny is outmaneuvering Solar at every turn, but he needs to buy time for the ghosts, for the Liberators, because the lurkers are coming. A single Zerg. No! Oh, you didn't want it until they landed. Okay. All right, just when I try to take the tennis ball out of your mouth is when you get so excited. Moving on. A Venn diagram of freedom and a a staggered bit of supply depots, the checkerboard there. Meanwhile, the Zerglings trying to run up the ramp. Not many of them will make it back down. A Nidus at the back of the natural. The ghosts will take it in their hands. One lurker manages to pop out, and Bunny, not really realizing for a moment, will line up some shots and knock the lurker out of the ground. 3-3 upgrades are finishing across the board. Only +1 ranged attack for Solar, though. As both... Oh, another medevac wanders into the Hydras and is knocked out of the sky. Hydra lunge completed. +3 infantry. Those are cheap. You want a piece of meat, boys? I don't... The ghosts don't do enough damage to Nidus worms. He's going to get out. This time it's 3 lurkers. Oh no. Which is... This feels like lurker laundering right here more than anything else. He keeps getting just enough lurkers to be easily dealt with. Another scan, but there's 4 orbital commands, so you shouldn't be too worried about this. The ghosts on the high ground, and things are going to be forced to slow down. But Solar making the transition already. He's got 2 infestors on the way. Burrow's halfway done. It's very clear what direction he wants to take this. He does not want to let the ghost ball build up and start rolling across the map, because I can't think of many more scary things. Yes, a scouting drone. Does he have concussive shells? Yes. Drones don't have legs, so they can't be affected. That's not true, all right? That's not how that works. That's not how science works. Like and subscribe for more science facts. Main base is clear. Building armor is on the way. Bunny with a multi-tiered... Where are you going, drones? What a pathing this is. Solar still didn't expand down the center, which feels a little lackadaisical at this stage, but he doesn't really have that much money in the bank. The infestors are underneath the Hydras, lunging past. He just runs by. Bunny's going to try to do a forward turret setup, but the infestors in prime position. This is it. Solar, this is it. It's right there. No, the infestor wanders into the scan, and now he knows. The opportunity. And now, Bunny actually doing some zoning turrets out here. For this exact reason. I mean, it's a little helpful against the Vipers, but mostly to spot for the infestors. Of course, when you can scan this much across the entire map simultaneously, it's not that big a deal, but turrets don't cost any APM. Why do you think Bronze Leaguers to World Champions love them? And building armor's about to complete. High-sec auto-tracking doesn't affect detection range, but it could help against the Vipers. The SCV standing by. A few... Well, the creep tumors are certainly metastasizing. So the Queen's putting it all together. Vipers taking some hits from the turrets. Near full energy on both of them. The Hydras, Lings, and Banes. The smaller the targets, the less effective the ghosts are. They're pretty good at auto-attacking against Lings and Hydras, but they're clearly there more for the EMPs and snipes on the more valuable targets. Solar has solved this problem by simply not giving him any valuable targets. Hydras, Lings, and Banes to overrun and make it so the ghosts just aren't that supply efficient. Ooh. Very dead Hydra. But another attack to the north side. The double siege. Liberators and siege tanks overlapping. Oh, Bunny used Harden. It's super effective. What a spirited defense. The Vipers, get over here. The siege tank put into a good position actually helps take out a few Banelings, but eventually gets cleared up. Solar not overextending, but Bunny is holding... Oh, wow. Solar has lost 2,600 or 26,000 resources to just 15K, including a couple thousand more gas. Almost a full gas geyser. Nuclear missile is in production. Graphical glitch in presence here. There's always been sort of a weird issue with that exact part of the map for some reason. All right, just don't believe your lying eyes. It's an indication that you haven't yet paid for the premium edition of this cast, so make sure to get on that. Spire is on the way, which... So Solar's Corruptor Ultra strategy, the Stiff Arm Zerg, has been remarkably effective in the past few months. Solar looks like he's on the bleeding edge of Zerg versus Terran strategy, but Bunny doing a great job. He launches the nuke immediately as he finishes it. That's not just, I guess I'll try it. No, he's got us. It was a fake? Did he cancel it immediately so Solar would just be I don't know if he canceled it because it was clear that Solar wasn't challenging it, or because... Oh no. Well, the Lurkers, there's enough ghosts to work their way through with overlapping fire. Ooh, it's a massacre. I love the nuke and then immediate cancel. That way you can't find the red dot. They just fired a nuke into orbit, and whenever it comes down, somebody's going to be very unlucky. That's kind of a crazy strat, but I love it. Almost like a hallucinate. Well, you still have to build it. That's the cost. It's like building a Nidus and then using it in the middle of the map just to get the scream. It's pretty much the same thing. And now a fusion core is on the way as well. Actually, I'm really surprised he didn't get that earlier, considering he already has like a dozen. Nuclear missile flies into the sky, and this one's targeted down the center. We'll see if it comes down on anything important. Solar moves the drones away. They have remarkably small radius overall. It will land and very mildly inconvenience a hatchery and destroy a few larvae. Meanwhile, though, Solar has most of the map. So far, he's lost 500 Zerglings. He's lost 25k minerals. He's lost almost double the gas, which is a little concerning as time goes on. But 3 more command centers on the way. He yanks it forward. A Liberator sieging up yet again. Bunny continues his attempts to expand outwards, but Solar has done a pretty great job shutting him down. Rips apart another... Wait, is that an Infestor? How did an Infestor get through here? I guess some of the turrets were taken out at key locations. Hydra's getting him behind. Knock out another Liberator. Solar has like 8 hatcheries, but Bunny still has money in the bank. He's building up the Ghost Liberator. Double drop brings some of the units back. Quick pickup there. +1 ship weapons and +3 vehicle plating in production for Bunny, who prioritizes getting Caduceus Reactor, the medevac energy regen upgrade, over getting advanced ballistics for the Liberators, which is kind of a crazy move, but I don't necessarily disagree. Having the medevacs be more efficient frees up supply for things like Liberators and more Ghosts. You don't usually want more than like 6 or 8 medevacs in the late game. The SCV count already down to 55, so leaving Bunny with enough army supply that Solar can only break off a few pieces at a time. The Turtle Terran in full swing, though, to Bunny's credit, he has made a very active... We only got here because Bunny was on point with the counterattacking, the drops, the multitasking. If he hadn't done that, Solar would have run him over 10 minutes ago. But Bunny has held. He's bent, but he's not broken. And now, he has most of his quadrant of the map. Solar doesn't need to be cost-effective. He just needs to be effective if he's able to get both the corner bases. One of which he's mining from, the other in the top left corner he's working on. He might lose a few dozen Zerglings. But, like they say, you can't make a planetary omelet without cracking open a few Banes. But the ghost count, 15 of them. There's still a nuke in the silo. Oh, the Infestor! Oh, it was still alive! It got a decent fungal. And I'm not even sure Bunny realized what happened there, but the parasitic bombs will melt through a Liberator, damage a couple more. He pulls off the SCVs to repair, and he realizes that awkwardly the top left corner has a current resident. But honestly, remarkably even at this stage of the game. It's not like we're sitting back doing nothing. Bunny has 7 orbital commands. He's got 4 planetary, like 15 command centers overall. Meanwhile, there's 100 Zerglings on the field. Solar is continually and actively mining. I love his priority. Seems like he's prioritizing the gas at many of these bases. in order to make sure he has it mined out and doesn't get caught if we get into a late game scenario or end game scenario. Another engagement. The Banelings trying to roll through the Liberators overhead, making life more difficult. And Solar is making one of his spires great again, as well as adding another spire on. Four infestors on the way. Corruptors. Broodlords are on the agenda, but he's going to try to break this top corner base. Liberators picked down and knocked down. More Liberators. The Vipers, or the missile turrets zoning out the rest. A lot of the Hydras gone down. An attempt at dropping the mules. Bunny's finally taken the 6 o'clock base during all this. And Solar is really challenging this location. Because if Bunny gets it, that brings him dangerously close to parity when it comes with to both the income and the total mining, which is the more important part as we get closer and closer to the bean counter phase of the game, and we start clicking on the gas geysers and the mineral patches to see how much is left. Did that say Solar's mined to 65,000, 15k more minerals, but he's lost 17,000 more, so that's unsustainable. Another fungal is on the way. Siege tank goes down. But the Olympic rings of liberation are enough to keep Solar at bay for now. But here come the Corruptors. Finally, some direct anti-air. The Zerglings streaming in from both sides. And Infestor getting out of the Liberator zones as the Corruptors will clear the air. The Lings and Banes have driven the Ghosts all the way back. And Solar is able to clear out some of these units. But I don't know if that went well enough for him. If you look at the supply, you'll see that Bunny has jumped into the lead. And his army supply is greater than, right now, Solar can even build, as 76 to 42 workers.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. How's it going, everybody? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very good. I am very excited to be playing a little Last Epoch. I've been getting a little bit of time in since the launch. We're gonna keep going on the character I've just been playing. I've only got the one right now. Just give you a little peek. We're playing a marksman. We're level 83. We're going a Heartseeker, triggering puncture build, using shift to get around, smoke bomb for repositioning and debuffing and buffing ourselves, and a little bit extra damage from little dark quiver action. Let's see what we've got here. Passives are mostly a marksman, a little bit in blade dancer. I'm trying to take the naive route on this character, where it's just like pick a theme and whatever is available at the time that I have a point to invest, I go for it. Just seeing how that flows. It's working. It's going great. If this is your first time, welcome. Glad to have you. We do stream for charity. Boom, right above my head. Everything that comes in from stream goes up there. If you have a question for me, I'd be very happy to answer it. Please put at Last Epoch Game if you're in Twitch. And I think it's just at Last Epoch if you're in YouTube. We've got people pulling those questions into a document where I can see them, and I will answer them as quickly as possible. Apologize if I don't get to all of them, but I will do my best. That's about it. I think that's about all the housekeeping stuff. Already stuff happening. Oh my goodness. Already everything happening. Spike has a 24-month resub, and Mr. Fibble at 17 months. Woo! Thank you. All right. Yeah, and I'm gonna play badly at the same time as answering the questions, because yeah. Reposition this slightly too. A new shirt. Oh yeah. Also, shout out for this wonderful artwork that was sent in. I cannot believe how cool it is. If you look at our Terra Monthly posts from a few months back, there's step by step on it getting made, which is just wonderful. Yeah. So thank you very much for that. Yeah, and we're just into empowered monoliths for the first time here. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep going with the same rate, or if my defenses are gonna fall apart here or not. I have no idea what's gonna happen in empowered, but this is my first foray into empowered. That's a lot of on death effects on this character. All right. So first question: any chance of getting the ability to report rather than just block the people spamming about RMT? We're discussing it internally right now. You can't see my chat fully. It's hidden behind me mostly, but you may see me randomly ban people throughout the stream. Yeah. We definitely get the pain point that's there. And ideally we want to try and get rid of it completely, because it is like even seeing one sucks. How am I feeling today? I'm feeling great today. Thanks. How are you feeling today? How do you guys feel about set changes? I feel like as cool as shattering sets are, it still doesn't match up to strong LP unique. Yeah, there's pure power wise, they are still on the low end. Overall, most of the sets were fairly conservative, and we tried to bump up some power on some of them here and there. I think it's something that we're gonna be looking into for expanding the system and getting more like, hey, this is designed as an end game focused set type stuff that we're going to be building into the game as we go. I think part of this was the set item updates were very last second for one point, or for season 2. So that was just barely under the wire, and we're like, we don't have time to make new sets yet, but if the system functionally works well, we will invest a bunch more time later to get more sets in and be awesome. Will the new skills ever be added to classes with updates? Thank you. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna be adding in new skills into the game. We added one this season. We've got I know we've got one planned for next season. Can't tell you anything about it yet. mostly because it's not fully designed yet. But yes, we are working on new skills. And just to be clear as well, the like the gaps that are here, like there's one missing there, there's one missing here, there's one missing here. Like those things are great places for us to target for new skills, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee those are the exact places that new skills will come. We're gonna put new skills where they fit the best, have the biggest impact, and just, you know, like we're not gonna shoehorn something into a spot in case, like just for symmetry or something like that. Yeah, but like having said that, the next one that's coming will fit nicely into one of those spots. So yeah, all right. Oh, I was not getting chunked much in normals, and I'm already noticing I'm taking a lot more damage. So we're gonna go through that process of beefing up defenses and kind of making that transition into empowered together here today, I think. So I have a feeling I'm gonna die a few times. And while I don't have any like typical teasers that I usually bring to a dev stream, I do have some cool stuff to share. Just in case. All right, what are you most excited about this update, considering how much work the team has done to improve the experience? I think it's mostly the like the woven echo, being able to plant stuff in. Not in the right menu to do that at all. Being able to plant stuff in the woven echoes is the biggest thing for me, and I think it's working great, and I'm very pleased. I actually have reasonably well organized stash tabs. Yeah. I never do. If you've been here before, you'll know that my stash tabs are usually a complete mess. Let's see what this one has, just for fun. Hey, frostbite! Completely useless for me. That's okay. Do you know if the Abyssal Expanse node in Devouring Orb skill tree affects Abyssal Emissions node in the same tree? Ooh! I do not know. Let's take a quick peek at what those nodes are real quick. Let's see what they are. Expanse. That's probably not on that many. That's on a lot more trees than I thought. All right, Abyssal Expanse increases the area. That makes sense based on the name. Emission. Abyssal Emission node in the same tree. I can't even find Abyssal Emission in Abyssal Echoes. Am I blind? Sorry, try again with a different node name because I do not know. Oh, Devouring Orb. Sorry, I can read. My goodness. Devouring Orb casts Abyssal Orb. No, those do not interact. Unless I'm missing something completely about the question, which I may have. Did I? Yeah, there's two nodes with the same name. I'll try. Ask me and ask the devs, and I'll answer it later tomorrow when I can actually look it up properly. Sorry. I love the new season. I can't stop playing. I was wondering if you guys would ever let us set rules for categories in the stash tabs. Interesting. It's a good idea. I do like the idea. There's a few things in the stash tab that I really want to do. And I think I think that's a cool idea for one, just like overarching categories. I'd really like to be able to copy affinities. Just like clone affinities. I think that would be really useful. I think that would effectively do the same thing. You clone affinities. Can we get some quality of life on Observatory? How painful it is to go through hundreds of thousands of prophecies by hovering over each tooltip one by one. It takes me an hour to spend favor. Woo! That was close. Yeah, I think there's definitely room for improvements there. If there's a specific thing that you're doing that you're like, hey, I wish I could do this action faster, and you have an idea on what you'd like to do for that action to make it faster, there's a suggestions channel in our Discord that is a great place to put that. But I do like that. Yes, is the short answer. I do like that. All right. Would you ever add a third difficulty to Aberoth between normal and Uber? Unlikely, I would say. It's possible. I'd say it's unlikely. I think we'd be more interested in like making new bosses, or maybe making like a new Uber. So like make an Uber version of something else that's maybe below Aberoth to go above Aberoth but below Uber Aberoth. So there's like so it'd be like boss Aberoth, Uber boss, Uber Aberoth type thing. I think that would be more interesting than just 3 tiers of Aberoth personally. But it's possible, you never know. Is there any plan for something like a Paragon level or progression for once we're level 100? Pushing corruption is fun, but let's see just how high we can go. Yeah, this is a really interesting thing. This is something that we get we used to get asked quite a bit, and it's something that we had initially designed the factions to kind of be. Is this like leveling progression system that's decoupled from the that's decoupled from the actual like leveling process. Like your experience doesn't have an impact, like a direct impact on it. And I think because the primary function of a Paragon system being that it actually gives you player power and not the ability to find player power, it worked a lot better than what we initially did, because we set the like when you first got into original versions of these factions, there was no way you were getting to rank 10 at the time was the max. There was no way you were getting to rank 10 by level 100. It was like level it required like twice as much as experience to get to level 100 as it did to get to rank 10 type thing. Like that was the initial version. I don't think we ever launched that version. That was like the initial original version, because we wanted to have this like leveling system that extended past level 100, that was decoupled from your character level. And people didn't like that very much. And since then we've dropped the requirements for unlocking all of the item faction ranks a ton. And so I think I don't think that system quite fulfilled the goals there fully. And so I can see something else stepping in to do something similar, but we don't have any plans for it at the moment. Yeah. We're gonna go in here. Should we just leave? Let's just keep going. We're doing pretty good. Did I double portal somehow? That's weird. That's weird. Oh well. Let me just nuke some of these. Can you confirm if Foley radius can overlap a echo node? So I have 2 Foleys overlapping one node. Does it get double the effect? But I do not know off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I don't think so. I think it's like a binary effect. Like it either is or isn't.
That was close.
I can look that up another time when I don't have to have the game on my screen. Because otherwise it would show things that I'm not supposed to show. All right, will we get an option to resize and recolor the mouse cursor? If we can figure out how to do it, absolutely. This is something we've been trying to do for 6 years. We would love to be able to do it. Unfortunately, when you like build a game, when you like take the game from the engine and you package it together so that it can be released, it's called like making a game build. And like that package is what gets sent out to Steam, and my goodness, I just got crushed for Exacxes. Don't see that every day. Missed it by just one health. Somewhere I've skimped on a node, and that was the whole problem. No. Yeah, getting a bigger mouse cursor is something and like a different size and color options is something we would really like to do, because we know it's something that a lot of people have a tough time tracking the mouse cursor. But we are really pleased with the size of the default mouse cursor, but we know that some people want to make it bigger, and so we would love to be able to increase the size. But when the game gets built, the cursor that's set then is the cursor, and we can't do anything to change it after that point. So we still have to find. Yeah, I got to take empowered seriously instead of just running in and attacking stuff, apparently. We'll find our groove here. I might need to do some upgrades on some gear. We are still wearing Woman Flash. I've been trying to build up a little bit of leech in my passive tree so I can take it off, but I still need crit strike avoidance elsewhere if I'm going to take it off. It's really important. This crit strike avoidance is a really important defensive layer. That stops you from getting one shot, like what just happened to me twice. Apparently I need more health. Only 1400. All right, items dropped from imprint can have the same affix sealed and also a prefix or suffix bug intentional. I think it's not supposed to happen. Basically, it's not supposed to generate items that shouldn't exist otherwise, and I don't think you can make that happen otherwise. So I'm gonna go with bug. These are scary. I should not be doing something that I actually have to concentrate on so I can actually answer questions easier. Okay. With the new patch on controller, I can no longer pick up an item while using the right stick. Was that intentional? If it's in the changes, yes. Should be the same for everyone. You may want to reset your controls to defaults. So in the I even have cleansing. Okay. I'm just getting absolutely destroyed. You know what that means it's time for? A little bit of... Can we do anything to our gear to improve it? Ward gained on shift. Yeah. Use armor tread duration. Yeah. Health gained on glancing blow. Not good. Like no forging potential on any of our gear here. Well, we're gonna struggle for a little bit apparently. Maybe we should go back and do something easier. I could go to the level 90s and actually get some gear. We're gonna do that so I don't have to focus as much as well. Let's just go right back to the same place and do it on normal. Oh, it's 70, not a 90. I did not like the blessing I got here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I would if you're having a tough time with some of the controls, come in, change input keys and just restore defaults. And because there may have been some change that happened, and restoring defaults will kind of jog it all into place. All right, while in town hubs, the players we see there are both playing seasons and standard, right? I don't think so, but I don't see why not. Because there's no direct interaction. of like item transfers or anything like that. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure no, but I don't see why not. It's one of those weird things where it's like I don't see the harm in it, but I would be shocked if we did that because I'm pretty sure it should be completely split. All right. Is Forge Master's Might being looked into? Yes. It seems like it applies the damage reduction twice. Once when you allocate the node and once when you equip the two-handed with a shield. Yeah. If it's happening when you actually allocate the node, if you don't have a two-hander equipped with a shield when the node is allocated, that's the bug. Because it should only happen when you actually have the equipment equipped, the same way that dual wielding does. Because you can take the dual wielding node without getting that debuff. It only happens when you actually equip the item. And if that's the case, that's an easy fix. But I don't know what's happening with it. I do know someone was looking into it this morning though. Have any ideas for giving other classes void-themed powers? Oh, I skipped one there. I'll go back to it. Did I skip a lot of things there? I may have. Have any ideas for giving other classes void-themed powers? A Void Witch, Acolyte, or an Abyss Walker Primalist, perhaps? Yeah, we do have... I'm not going to comment on if we're going to do any of those specific ideas there, but we do have... I do know the next space that a Void-themed class will be available through. It's about as vague as I could say that. We've got a plan in the pipe. This is good. See, I have to be able to take my hand off the keyboard to delete these questions. All right, is it feasible to implement some sort of gauge that displays players' progress towards gaining resonance with specific players? It's not completely fixed, so like it kind of could be possible, but there's an element of randomness to it that means it would be kind of misleading. I guess we could like display the worst case scenario. Might be a little disheartening. I think it's unlikely we do something like that, but it is possible. For WASD movement, can we remove left click to move and just allow the skill to be bound to left click? No, that doesn't work right now. It doesn't work well when trying to cast the spell with left click with my character moves. Yeah, so you can hold shift to do that. I'm terrible with this. But yeah, so like I guess none of these abilities will actually, because they'll all just work because they all have legal targets. I can't show this well, but yeah, you can hold shift to stop moving. I know it's not the solution you're looking for, and we are looking into the solution you're looking for, but yeah, there is. I don't know why I'm clearing this whole zone. I'm just kind of on autopilot right now because I'm thinking about the questions. There is. We're working on specific upgrades to WASD, including control options for left click. So like being able to set move only on there, being able to set interact only, like all these different styles that people might have. It's just something we didn't consider enough options as something people were going to try and do. So the options aren't there. There's another thing that just barely squeaked in under the line. All right. I think we are still going for a little bit of attack speed here. Ooh, a little eggy. A little eggy. What do we want to put in there? Do you have anything interesting to put in there? Let's make a crab brain. Why not? Why not? All right, let me just clear off some of these. When imprinting uniques, does having LP or a slammed stats from Temporal Sanctum affect the outcome of when an imprint of that item drops? Yes, it does. They're treated exactly the same. So if you have a 2 LP item or a legendary item of the same type with 2 legendary stats on it, like I'm not wearing any, but like this as the 1 LP item version and this as the, if I slam something onto this, are treated identically in that system. So it doesn't care what's slammed on there. It is as though it was not slammed. So you can use, this question usually comes from, can I use failed Nemesis uniques that just got random stats that I don't want anymore in that to try and drop fresh ones that have LP on it? Yes, you can do that. Just keep in mind that if you are doing an item, if you got those legendary stats onto a unique that is a very high tier unique, like a red ring, for example, let's say, the chances of it having LP at all do still scale with their do still scale with like that unique item's relative legendary potential level. Nailed it. All right, I don't need those right now. Sure. We can do a little shattering here. Yeah, crit multi, I've been looking for that. Ooh, it's a lot of crit avoidance. We could make enough crit strike avoidance to take off this chest and put something that actually had more damage stats on it. I mean, just more health stats in general. We've got 33 from there, 54 from there. Do we have any anywhere else? Can we get some somewhere else? Can we get some on a chest that we put on? I think this one has some. No, we could try and seal the health and put on it. Can chests have crit strike avoidance? There's some on some boots. Ooh, we do get haste a lot, and I love haste effect, and we get increased damage from speed. Oh, this is the one I was definitely planning on using. +3 Heart Seeker's nice. The recurve chance is nice too. Okay, we may have to solve this problem later when I'm not answering questions. Let's see what's around. After a week, what are your overall thoughts on class balance? Are you happy with where Sentinel is, or other classes that may seem to be underperforming also brought to the same level? Yeah, I think Sentinel in general is overperforming right now. I think that's pretty clear. Like the while popularity is not the only important metric when deciding if something is overpowered, it can be an indicator of where to look. So here, let's here looks like a good time as any to share a little of this. Let's look at some stats. Let's look at some stats. Which one is it? Let's get a big version for myself so I can look at the same time. Yeah, so we've got I feel like that's probably pretty good size. Everyone can probably see it. It's almost half the player base is playing Sentinel right now, 49%, which is huge. And I think this is the first time Acolyte's ever been out of the top 2. I think. I could be wrong on that, but Acolyte's always up there. Necromancer is one of those things that's just like even if we don't touch it, people still play it. Because Necromancer is fantastic. And yeah, so I'm a little surprised at how crazy representative Sentinel is there. But even the others are fairly evenly spread, which is nice. Yeah, some cool little stats there, but yeah, there's a lot of people playing Sentinel right now, which is cool, and like a lot of that is just because hey, it's the new thing, and when we make a big change to something, a lot of people play the new thing, and if it's also really strong, a lot of people play the new thing. So you know I don't think anyone's surprised to hear that we're looking at it for probably some targeted nerfs to rebalance some things for next season. I mean, it's a long way away still. But yeah, we are bringing, I think, getting closer and closer to getting things into a good place balance wise, but it is, you know, there's always gonna be something that's a little bit better than something else. And even if that gap is very, very tiny, you're still gonna see a disproportionate number of people playing those, I think. I would do a snowblind right now. Right. Charge the bacon. Oh my goodness, I'm playing with that on my screen. Classic Mike. Classic. Maybe do that. There's still on screen, but it's a little less in your face. All right, do you plan on allowing us to use old skills while moving? Use old skills while moving in the future. Use old skills while moving. I do not know what that means. Do you plan to use old skills? Meant to be all skills, maybe? If it's all skills, do you plan on allowing us to use all skills while moving? That's a pretty huge change to the way that the casting and movement systems work. I don't think it's likely we would be doing that anytime soon. Good strike avoidance. I know we're looking at some animation changes that will allow us to when an ability starts, when you press an ability, there is a little period of time where you are, if you just hold move and attack, you can see there's a little period of time where you're unable to do anything. And that little bit of time, a lot of times, is dictated by the animation length. Sometimes on heavier abilities, it's put in there specifically for a better feel of the ability to give it a little more weight and that sort of stuff. The actual like it's just too powerful to spam it that quickly, that sort of thing. Having attack speed affect that is kind of the really important thing. And the reason why some abilities don't allow attack speed to affect that is because there's a movement component associated with it. So if there's a movement component associated with it, attack speed can't affect that time. But there's also animation requirements that cause it to have a certain minimum amount of time in there as well. And so we are updating the animation system to allow that time to be a lot more flexible from the animation side, so it becomes just a gameplay thing on how long we want it to be in there. But having everything be possible to be moved used while moving along the same lines as PoE2 does would require a very substantial change to the whole movement and ability usage system. That it's like the scope on something like that is kind of like, would you like us to have, like, we could have done that and there's no updates to the monolith last league type thing. Like it's a really huge thing, and the amount of content we can add to the game instead of doing something like that is makes budgeting that time for it very difficult to justify. But you know, we're working on it. Working on improving it. We gotta feel better. The champion Ghost hits harder than Aberoth. Is this intended? Well, so technically, like any old skeleton could theoretically hit harder than Aberoth because it's scaled by corruption. But in general, like for most people that are playing at a reasonable corruption level, no, it's not. Are there any plans to add a location indicator arrow of your party members on the minimap? Oh, like what we see right now on my minimap with the quest arrow pointing down to the right, being like, your party's that way, your party's that way. Not that I've heard or seen, but I think it's a cool idea. Yeah, go toss it in the suggestions channel on our Discord. And I don't say that too. This is something as well. Like I say this to people all the time. Is like, go put it in the suggestions channel. Either when I'm on stream or in the Ask the Devs channel on Discord. I'm like, go put it in the suggestions. And like, I only tell that to people when I like the idea. I do it all. Even if I don't, I still say it. But like, when I really like the idea, I'm like, go put it in there, please. Because you know that's where we pull stuff from. And me showing up to a design meeting, being like, people are saying this, carries a lot less weight than me able to look in that channel and be like, people are saying that. All right. Is the Ravager's Dart unique, designed to carry or support a build? I would say it's probably more of a support item, because you're not. Anytime you take an ability and say you can't use this directly, or like there's only one of them can exist at a time, it means that it's at most going to be part of a hybrid build. So like, I'm doing like almost 100% of my damage is coming from Heartseeker right now, with triggering puncture for secondary stuff for clear. But the button that I'm pressing as an attack button is almost exclusively Heartseeker here. As soon as you say you can only have one Heartseeker existing at a time in the field, and it's going to trigger automatically, what are you going to do with the rest of your time? So usually the expectation there is that you're going to be using another offensive ability sometime as well. Whether or not that means that the other one is the support, or if Heartseeker is the support, I think depends on just how you specialize the ability. And you know, if you're going to say like, okay, I'm going to make them equals, that's fine too. All right. How do you feel about hitting number 1 on Steam? What? Number 1 in what category? I didn't know we hit number 1. I feel great about it. I don't know what category we were number 1 in, but it sounds awesome. Love being number 1. I don't know what category we hit number 1 in on if we did, but sweet, that's awesome. The whole launch has been, it's launching even an update like this, but it's a big update, but launching anything is so stressful, because it's like months and months and months of work, and like culmination of years of work, and then on top of that you're like, this is gonna dictate how the next few months go type thing. And it's like, having that go well is so you put a lot of pressure on it, and it feels very good when it goes well. And this one went well. Not perfect, but it went well, and that felt really good. A lot better sleep 2 days after the launch than 2 days before the launch. What do we get? That's a cool item. Thank you. We got a few things in here that I missed. My goodness. Master Sword. That's a 4 years. That's a 4-year mark. I can't believe I missed it. Thank you so much for 4 years of subs. That's incredible. That's definitely one of the longest. Nice block shield. Also, thank you very much for Shark Bites Gaming, the sub, Prime sub, appreciate that very much. And also 5 months by Trunks, 19814. Fantabulous. 5 months in a row. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for having fun with me. I just looked over at the view count. There's a lot of people here. Hi, everybody. Okay, I should probably answer questions a little faster. All right. Any possibility to add sound effect toggle to cosmetics? I stack Maelstrom and the howl overrides the other sound cues. Ooh, that's a tricky one to do. I think it's a good idea though. I think that should be possible. There's a few things in sounds that I'd like to kind of break out some of the options a little more. I know the sound designers would love to break out the options more. There's quite a few times that sound designers come to me and they're like, I want to do this, and I'm like, yeah, we can't really do that. And they're like, crap, I'll find a workaround. Are questions getting added to the top? Or, I might be going the wrong way. Can you touch on the team's approach to nerfing? I hope it's more of a fine-tuned approach than a sledgehammer approach. A D4 makes builds useless after. Yeah, there's sometimes a really fine line between a delicate touch and a clumsy bonk. I don't know what you want to say the two options are. And I think sometimes there's definitely been times that we've made adjustments and they've been overcorrections or undercorrections. They don't quite have the effect you expect them to in the long run. In general, I think when we want something to be like, thanks Steve, you got it. I think when we want something to be, when something is powerful and people are having fun with it and they enjoy the build and they enjoy the play style, and it's something that they're like, people really love playing this way, and it's like, say it's way more powerful than everything else. The goal is not to say, hey, this build everyone loves because they enjoy that way of playing the game, but it's too powerful, so we're gonna nerf it into the ground. That's not what we look at it at all like. It's, hey, there's this build that people really enjoy playing, partially because it's very powerful, partially because it plays fun. How do we make it so that people still really enjoy playing it? It's still really powerful, but no one has these calls of like, it's OP, nerf it, that sort of thing. And so it's getting it just under the line of people calling it OP. That's the goal. Like as close to that line as possible. That's always the goal when we're trying to nerf a build. Yeah. All right. Congrats on season 2 launch. Thank you. It has been great for Shaman. Do you think there will be more passives added to support physical spells? For both the player and totems. I enjoy the whole Earth theme, but it seems a bit limited compared to converting to Elemental. Thanks. I think that's a very reasonable request. I think that's something that I think would be surprised to not see more of as we go. We've I think put more of the physical spellcasting on Druid typically, which I know sounds a little weird, but that's kind of where it's. I think if you open the passive trees, you'll see more physical stuff in Druid than you will like spell stuff in Druid than Shaman. But I think it still definitely falls under Shaman's theming as a whole. As someone that go put it in the suggestion channel. Do it. As someone that likes using spears, is there any consideration to possibly change spear damage from melee to physical for uses that never enter melee range? It has to have a damage type. So like you can't have like, see how this has just like 45 bow damage? You can't have 45 physical damage. It needs to be like bow physical damage. If it's flat. Am I crazy? I'm fully second guessing myself right now. Is that even possible? Can I? Yeah, that's melee light damage. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it needs to have either a spell, bow, melee, or throwing. It needs to have one of those 4 on it. Flat added damage needs to have one of those 4 things associated with it, and then it can optionally have an element associated with it as well. Yeah. So we could put like all 4 of those things if we put like melee, throwing, bow, and spell physical damage on those spears, we could do that theoretically. We have to have all 4, and then they just become kind of these weird hybrid power items. I mean, we could put like physical and throwing on them that we also have, or sorry, melee and throwing. But we do put scaling like that on specific throwing abilities for spears like javelin. So I think it's unlikely we make a change like that, but it's, you know, not impossible. We'd have to kind of do some cheating behind the scenes a little bit. Anyway, to pin quest from COF or other factions so we can track it while doing monos. I don't think so. Oh, like a prophecy, like pin a prophecy up here, like a quest. I think that's what this says. Like pin a prophecy as though it was a quest. I like that. I think that's a really good idea. As like a little reminder. I feel like you'd probably wouldn't want too many, but being able to do some of them I think would be cool. Because you can get a lot of them, right? Can I even see them in here? Yeah. So like you like having all of these be able to show up, but like having one you could like star it or something and it shows up as like tracked. I think that'd be a really cool idea.
Bueno, creo que vamos a seguir mañana porque tengo mucho sueño. Así que son casi las 12. Vamos con la música del cierre y nos vamos a dormir.
The following tracks contain both test tones and sine sweeps, recorded at 0, -5, and -10 dB.
Mañana volvemos a la mañana.